Right, so we're back to Player Profiles with the Fan Pub. My name's Sean, this is Al, and we are doing a video today on the player that I am choosing. And today I'm going to choose a player that I know Al likes. I'm just curious, last year he liked him. Don't know if he likes him as much this year, maybe he likes him more. We're going to find out about that. It's my turn to turn the tables on him, and it's Kerryon Johnson of Detroit Lions. Had a very interesting year last year. Obviously an injury cut what we saw of the guy short, which is unfortunate because he looked quite interesting at times, very electric. You must be, I think you're still a fan, aren't you? What do you think of him for this year?
Right. My take on Kerryon Johnson is, like the guy, like the talent.
Yeah.
He catches as well as runs.
Yeah, he does it all, doesn't he? Yeah.
And he was slowly starting to break out last year when he got injured. And they looked after him. I think he's a really good player. CJ Anderson worries me that he's there.
Yes, that's why I picked this one, because I know you're a big CJ Anderson
that bloke
fan. He's like a vulture waiting for the player to go down in front of him.
If you ever watch Wacky Races, he's like when you're driving the car and you've got the thundercloud over your head. That's what CJ Anderson is.
If you wonder why I've been, so crystal clear on Gurley, it's because CJ Anderson was just there, hovering in the background, ready, and then Gurley went down, and there he was. Just they brought him in, and the rest is history.
He just.
But do you like
Kerryon going back to Kerryon Johnson? Yes, I do like him.
His ADP today is what?
His ADP is 37.
So that's a very palatable ADP.
Yeah, I think if you can get him anywhere near that, then you should snap him up.
And that's running back what as of today?
19.
See, in our leagues, in the live leagues, he'll go second round for sure.
He'll go in the top 25.
Yeah, he'll be in our second round of our live league, I suspect.
No, yeah,
it'll be very deep down the second round, but he'll definitely go in the second.
I reckon he'll go middle probably.
Maybe there are likers and takers there because he has the potential to do more than his numbers.
Yeah, I just like the way. I mean, he was stuck behind Blunt last year, and
terrible
Blunt's
plodder,
gone now. Now he's got CJ Anderson, another plodder.
Yeah, it's a great one to pick up.
And the worry is CJ Anderson nicks his touchdowns, and that's really annoying as well. And I know if I pick him, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. But he is excited. But could you do us a favour for those at home so they don't have to look? Could you just bring up his numbers? I know it was an injury cut season, but he did do some really interesting things in the time he played.
I think he was really starting to pick up.
He looked very good for a short period of time. I really liked what I saw.
So 10 games, 641 yards.
That's on the ground, and in the air.
And then another 213, so 800 all-purpose yards in 10 games.
And how many touchdowns?
And touchdowns he had 4.
Right, I think.
So if we had 10 of 16.
So we had 6 more games on top. You're looking at a player that's close to 1,000 yards, close on the ground, and probably 400 to 500 yards. That's a 3-down back.
Yeah, so you're looking 1,200 yards and probably 6 or 7 touchdowns.
Potentially. He could easily get. It's 600.
And that's his first year. That's his rookie year.
Yeah, 600 on the ground. Still got 6 games. Could easily get 400 yards on the ground, so it's 1,000 yards, and probably 400 to 500 yards in the air. So
don't forget, you'd be on Blunt for
it's interesting. The trouble is, would you say
the problem is
big knocks on him? Would you say Detroit?
Well, that is the biggest knock on him because game scripts. Let's face it, they're the worst team in that division. They're not very good.
How bad are they really?
But the good news
is there any kind of for a Detroit fan out there? We know one of them who's been through a lot of misery.
He's the one that causes all the misery.
Yeah. We know that there's a lot of misery for those Detroit Lions fans. We know that misery. I've been there myself for a few years, and it's nice. But they came back really well. We got a Super Bowl win. I'll take that, and we've been there a couple of times. That's nice. So at least we've been in the fight.
50 years.
50 years of Detroit. Nothing to look forward to.
The thing, they're not a good team, are they?
They've
got Minnesota. They've got to play Minnesota twice. That's tough. They've got to play Chicago twice. That's tough.
And they're
Green Bay twice.
Let's be honest. Those 6 games alone. How many will Detroit win? 1, 2.
Yeah.
So that's 6 games. At best, let's say 2 wins, and I think that's fair. 2 wins.
2 and 4.
2 and 4, and then the rest of the games, depending on who they're playing, it could be game script gone wrong.
The game script's not going to be good for him, but the good news is he's a better catcher.
He's a very good pass catcher. Yeah, he's an exceptionally good, and I don't think we've seen anywhere near what he's capable of as a pass catcher. I think he might be one of the best pair of hands in the league. Actually, look at the game scripts. Let's talk those through.
Yeah, so the last
Talk it through game script. Just
He's
one,
had 200-yard rushing games for a start, so they stand out. One of them was against New England,
which is very good. Yeah,
when they beat New England as well.
yeah.
He had 158 yards at Miami. Admittedly, they're not very good. 8.3 yards a carry.
Yeah, that shows something.
The game he went down was against Carolina. He had 87 yards rushing.
That
10
was
yards receiving.
I watched that game and it was really unlucky. He looked like he was really finding his form and he looked so exciting.
So even away at Chicago, he had 51 yards rushing and 38 yards receiving.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that in standard scoring.
And 2 touchdowns.
Wow, that's awesome.
So that's 21 points
That's
against
awesome.
Chicago. So
Fantastic.
very capable player.
So,
obviously, he started slowly.
I mean,
he wasn't the starter.
would it be fair to say this then, Al? I mean, you know, if we use our own knowledge on this, and we will, I think this is fair to say. I think his ADP, whatever league you're in, climbs up as you get nearer the season. I think that's fair to say.
I think it will, yeah.
And he will probably go closer to 30 than 36, and maybe even creep inside the top 30. That's probably fair to say.
He definitely will in the large league.
By the August drafts, but in the large leagues, we know he goes inside 2 rounds. Because of the scarcity of position on running backs and people's belief in them. Has he got potentially top 5 numbers in him? Because I think he is just outside that, but I think he could be in a top 8 to 10. It's possible.
He's potentially a 3-down back, but you know CJ Anderson's going to be in the mix.
Yeah, and does it worry you the injury he received and the fact it's Detroit? Are those 2 red flags that you just can't get your head around?
Detroit he's young. The injury's not.
Right.
I think he could have come back last year if they didn't
but they
want
wanted to protect him.
Yeah, and that tells you what they think of him. And watching him, he looks a good player.
Certainly passes all the eye tests. I have to be honest, I became quite a fan watching him work. And he became, I see why they drafted him, and he looks exciting.
He's going around the range of Robert Woods, Kenny Golladay, Julian Edelman. So it's quite, it's quite high praise. But
it's a running back, and the opportunity to do much more than their metrics is there, isn't it?
I'd rather take him over Devontae Freeman, I think. I know a lot of people
without a shadow.
Freeman's going much higher, and I know a lot of people like
see
him.
our video on Freeman if you haven't already. You'll see that I'm not, and Al's not. We're not really fans of his for this year.
We're fans of his, but just the injury, the red flags.
There are a lot of issues. That video.
A lot of other people are talking him up. If he plays all year, it will be wrong because he'll.
Yeah, well, he's got to play. First of all, he's got to play all year. He hasn't done that for 2 years, and secondly, he is 1 concussion away from ending his career, and I mean that sincerely. So watch our video, have a look at the insight in that, and you'll see what we mean. He's one of those players I think is a definitive
Sean's
trap.
going to visit him with a baseball bat to make sure.
Without a shadow of a doubt, he's going down.
With Alamito Smith.
But I do feel that this guy has got, like when people say there's players that are worth kind of a risk. When you look at second round, and we'll use this scenario, second round running backs in those large leagues, and you're at near the back end of that second round.
Do you think he could become like...
He's very much...
Not as good as McCaffrey, but that...
Why couldn't he be as good as McCaffrey? McCaffrey came out of nowhere last year and delivered. Why can't this guy do that?
Well,
I know it's Detroit, but there are some niceties. There are some niceties about Detroit.
I mean, the Panthers aren't brilliant, are they?
No, I mean, there's some things that like if Detroit had a defense to go with the offense they've currently got, they would be very much more exciting to watch them. I just feel they leak everywhere. The problem I always find with them is, as you say, it's the division, which is very difficult for them. They're like the perennial kick in the teeth kind of team until proved otherwise. They're just going to be right down in the basement. Can't see them winning more than 2 games. Just can't. And even that's being kind. 2 games has been very kind. It might just be 1. And it could be they lose all 6. So the game scripts aren't going to be there. Yeah. The game scripts aren't there for starters. And then you've got to look at some of the other teams they're playing. And
so would you be a buyer at 37?
I think if I was in a large league, I'd have to take... That's a swing for...
in any league.
I think I would in any league, actually. Thinking about it, PPR, non-PPR standard, is a bit of a swing for the fences. He has got a red flag over him, but running backs are such a scarce commodity. If I'm in the second round and I've anchored my team down with a great one, and I'm thinking about who's there and he's still on the board, he is a risk worth taking, because I might just suddenly have got myself 2 really great guys, and that can make a difference to my team all year long and makes it exciting to watch. And nothing wrong with that, but there is a niggle. I do have a problem because it's Detroit, and I do worry about the injury, and that gives me pause for concern.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And thankfully, in my own draft, my own thoughts around it, he's a player that there are other targets I kind of prefer over him. So I think the odds for me to draft him, if I'm being serious, are probably quite low. Although I'm not adverse to it. I'm not saying that I wouldn't. I'm just saying I think there are other players that will probably be there or just about there that I would take over him personally. Just.
But Derrick Henry's going above him. He could be. They said they're going to run him into the ground this year. Would you take in standard? Because obviously,
he doesn't catch the ball, Derrick Henry.
but in standard that doesn't matter. So much.
We covered him off in a video. Again, another video worth watching. You'll get our thoughts on him. I'm not really a fan. No, because I would rather take a Kerryon Johnson. I would Derrick Henry with the chance that this guy is a 3-down back and it's his standard in every.
People saying Henry, it's the last year of his contract. They're going to run him into the ground. What does that tell you? If you're Derrick Henry hearing that, what does that tell you?
You're just a piece. That's all you are. And the thing with these two,
it's not great, is it?
I'm glad you brought.
If somebody in your job, one of your managers said,
"I'm going to run you into the ground."
Yeah, we're going to work him really hard on a project, and then we're going to get rid of him. How would that make you feel?
I'd be gone long before the project's ended.
Yeah, exactly.
Frankly,
but you can't do that, obviously.
No. But where I was going with this, because I think you raised a really good point here, Al, is that you've got Derrick Henry, you've got Kerryon Johnson. They're close enough, but they're not close. I mean, Derrick Henry's ADP is
32.
And our man is 36.
37,
right.
37.
But I think Derrick Henry's ADP in our large leagues is going to be an early second round, whereas Kerryon Johnson's going to be slightly past the middle, if that makes sense. It's going to be kind of either side of the middle. It's going to be close. I would much rather own Kerryon Johnson personally than Derrick Henry because I think he can do 3-down work. I don't believe Derrick Henry can. And if we're talking game scripts, I don't think Tennessee's is anything to sort of sing home about and going, whoa, this is great.
Well, that's going to be plan A and plan B, though, isn't it? Pound the ball.
Well,
because Mariota can't throw.
Well, the problem is easy. Look, it is very.
Are they going to use RPO? Because Mariota's quite a decent runner.
I've got a lot of experience of this, right?
A very overrated thrower.
Right. So here's a take on this. You can come back to that point of Mariota because it's a good video to air this one out on. I know teams that run the ball. I'm talking old school, so I know exactly what that means when they say plough the rock. Plough the rock kind of thing. Rams used to do it all the time.
No, Pittsburgh.
Right? Pittsburgh used to do it all the time. More modern team. If you want to see Jerome Bettis, that's what they used to do. Put the ball in his hands, control the clock. He would often get you 4 yards, 3 runs. You've got a first down, or the odd pass. And even if you've got the passes going wrong, sometimes he'd bail you out of trouble. Jerome Bettis on 2 runs because he was that solid. So what this is really about is controlling the clock. Now, there's no way that they can afford to. It's not like we're dealing with a team like the Rams, where the Rams could keep the game close, like the old days, get 17 points and win it 17-15 or something crazy. The modern NFL is a different beast, and there's too many ways for teams to change the tempo on you. And there's no way I see Tennessee under Derrick Henry, or Detroit for that matter, being able to control any clock. Where I much prefer Kerryon is because if they are up against it and Christ, you're 2 scores back, I feel you can put this guy in and he could be your dump-off pass. He could get 7-8 dump-off passes. Well, that has a tremendous value when you're getting 60, 70 yards.
More so in PPR as well.
So I really like him over Mr. Henry. Yeah, so...
There's no Abdullah there anymore.
I mean, if I'm taking a shot in the second round...
Yeah, we don't know whether he's...
I don't mind him. I like Kerryon Johnson. I'll take a shot at him. His ADP, if he's there, his ADP is 100. I'd definitely give him a definite look.
If Kerryon Johnson, he's got pretty decent hands. Does that make Theo Riddick surplus to requirements, do you think?
Yes, I do.
Because he used to be he used to be one of the best pass catchers really in the league, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, I really do. I think, and there might be other teams that come in near the season or as training camp hits or an injury hits where he might get gobbled up by somebody else. That's possibly will happen. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go. What do you think of Kerryon Johnson? What do you think of Detroit? I mean,
it's a great quandary, this one, and it will certainly be It's an interesting player for this year and could really explode past his metrics. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
All right, thanks very much. And if please leave a like if you've enjoyed it.
We'll look forward to seeing you on the next one, and there will be more to come.